Hey y'all, welcome back to the homestead. I am heading out to feed the chickens at the cluck wagon. I'm gonna take you guys along, and there's probably a few things that I've made videos on lately that maybe you wonder how that turned out. So I'm gonna try to tell you some of those things. I've got some garden stuff to do, and so I'm just bringing you guys along. Let's hit the road. Alright, you might can see some of the cows back there. They're kind of in the woods. It's the middle of the day, so they're kind of over there in the shade. But the first thing I wanted to share with you guys, and we told you before, if nothing else on this YouTube channel, we get comments all the time that say you guys are real. Y'all are transparent. You don't try to fake it and just show the good things. And so I feel like that's something y'all appreciate, and I want to keep up. So we showed you, I believe you saw it last Friday, about the black cow we had to get up. It was me and the kids. We got her up and got her medicated and put back with the herd because she had a baby. That was the same day we got up the calf with the swollen jaw. Well, there is no way to sugarcoat it but to say she died the next day. She actually was just dead the next day when we came out to check cows. So it might have been pretty quick after that. She was pretty down when we found her. We've had sick cows. Y'all know that. We took you with us as we've tried to take care of them and tell you what's wrong with them and stuff. But I can only think of maybe, I'm not even sure I can think of one other time where they went down that quick. Even one that we had that was when we very first started YouTube, that we knew she was sick and she had actually retained part of her placenta, and it gave her an infection that eventually killed her despite all of our best efforts. It was still, you know, she laid there for like a week of us trying stuff. So this is the quickest one has went down. There's a few possibilities. It could be any number of things, honestly. So, but I did want to update you guys on that. We hate it. She is one that was born here, that we kept and raised, and she was special to us, and they all are. But when you have them from a baby and you wind up keeping them, there's just something about it. You just feel like they're part of your family. But it's happened. I wanted to share it. Let's move on down the road to the cluck wagon. Let me give you a little updates there. All right, so here we are. I had to come this way. Normally I come in the other side of the electric fence, but I got to get in there. I'm gonna have to crawl on the ground to get in there. I cannot jump over this thing, and they will start flying out, as you just saw. All right, I got it done. Got in and out without getting shocked. That's always a good day. And got them taken care of, eggs gathered, everything. Even got the one in that got out while I was trying to talk to you guys. But I just wanted to tell you, they're doing great back here. We've still got the fence up for now. Don't think we've lost any more, so that's a good thing. I guarantee you, if the dogs came back and touched this fence, they would learn a lesson from it. It would hurt. So I don't know if they've been back or not. To be honest, we don't have the camera up at this point, because if we put it on the cluck wagon, it would be too far away to get good pictures of something that can't get in this fence. So we really just need to bring a pole or something back here to strap it on. And we just haven't done that yet. So as you can see, as of now, all is well back here. I've been reflecting on this and thinking about it, and we had some comments about why wasn't there a fence up. So you'll have to go back if you're new to our channel and check out some older videos. We visited Joel Salatin's farm. This is the short version, and he has a big eggmobile, and that is what he uses to help control flies around his farm. It moves around 3 days behind his cows and eats as the fly larva is hatching in the cow poop, for lack of a better word. They eat that, and then that helps control flies on cows, because flies on cows, especially in a hot area, is a big problem. But fences are not part of the equation. The eggmobile, in our case the cluck wagon, is their homing beacon. That's what keeps them coming back. But they need to roam the whole area that the cows are in and be able to scratch to eat the fly larvae, or else it's not going to work as well. Couple lessons learned though. We are still getting used to moving this thing around, and they are not 3 days behind the cows. They're in fact been here for quite a bit. We need to get them behind the cows where the cows have eaten the grass down. They're not in such tall grass for a predator to sneak up. Also, I feel like if they're closer in proximity to the cows, the safer they'll be, because a pack of dogs could potentially come up in a herd of cows, even get a calf, but it's pretty rare. So I feel like if they're closer to the cows, that's even better. A couple of you mentioned a livestock guardian dog. That's not something I thought of, but that's a really good idea. Something I will be thinking about. But anyway, that's where we're at right now with the chickens. I'm just, for right now, keeping these girls safe. I just don't want something to come back and finish the job. All right, so we're back up at the house. I got me a couple helpers, and we're about to finish up this gardening. We're gonna go to the back garden as well and get rid of a little grass. We're gonna trim up some herbs. So let's get started. So the first thing I'm gonna do is, where I couldn't till, I'm just gonna get rid of all this grass, get everything looking better.
Hello.
So I've actually had quite a few comments on YouTube over the course of our channel, and several here lately, about how do I get the kids to help me? How do I get 2 teenagers to get out here and garden and do stuff with animals and all that kind of stuff? Well, I don't know what they think about it. I'll ask them in a minute, but mainly we really don't it's really not a choice in our family, I guess. It's just the way we've raised them. If we're working on something, everyone just kind of joins in. Same thing if they're working on something. Ben has helped Emily paint dressers and hang shelves in her room and all kinds of stuff that he had no interest in. Same thing with my kitchen cabinets. Ben could have probably went his whole life and not painted kitchen cabinets and been just fine. But I think part of it is just that's all they know. We just work together as a family. Everybody likes to eat.
Especially me.
So we just grow food. It's just what we do. They've always had some sort of time limits on screen time. It's not something we've ever just totally took away, because you know what? They could grow up and choose to do that. And that's just the way the world's moving, is technology. So we've allowed some screens, but under supervised, time-limited conditions. And so they can't sit around on screens all day. So if everyone else is out in the yard working on something, it just gets kind of boring to sit inside doing nothing in the house by yourself. So that just kind of lends itself to being creative and getting outside. I've seen several people say that have been forced to homeschool, keep their kids at home through all this quarantine that previously were in school. I've seen them saying how much their kids are hanging out and getting along and using their imagination on what they're doing. And that is one of the most kept secrets of homeschooling that people don't realize. I think people think your kids will kill each other if they're home together very long, but actually the opposite is true. If that's pretty much the only person you have to hang out with, you will work it out and get along, because who wants to sit by themselves all the time? Okay, and the truth of it is, money is a pretty good motivator too. We've always paid a little bit of allowance to the kids since they were small, and I mean a little bit. And now, of course, Lane is our employee, but he's not expected to do all that you see him doing. He's expected to move the cows and keep an eye on them. The rest of it is just things he helps us do. But if you can't afford to pay your kids in money, I totally understand. There's times we haven't been able to either. But you can pay them in other ways. Get the whole family together and say, you know what, we're gonna go out and we're gonna weed the garden, and then I'm gonna spend time with you, and we're gonna have a movie night, and we're gonna make some popcorn. Pay them in spending time with them, or fun things, or something like that, just hanging out with them. And last but not least, don't get a false impression. Lane and Emily aren't perfect either. Lane's taking offense. No kid is perfect. You only see on YouTube what we put on there. So don't be too hard on yourself. We have our moments where we're not all getting along, or someone's in a cranky, grumpy mood, myself included, and that's just the way it is. So don't base your standard for yourself on something you see on someone's YouTube channel.
Even if it's not being rude to each other, sometimes it's you don't show all the clumsiness. Like, look at your finger. Let's talk about that for a moment.
That's called I was slicing an avocado for lunch.
Okay, while they are weeding out those beans, I'm gonna go clip up some tomato plants. Okay, so these first ones that I'm doing are our Amish paste, and they have just rocketed. They've taken off. They are doing awesome, and they are huge.
All right, so we got some aphids on these cabbages under the frost blanket. So I am using, this is an organic spray. You can actually harvest and eat it the same day. It's totally pretty much harmless. It says it's safe around children and pets. It won't harm bees. That's one thing you have to be careful with neem oil. That's why a lot of times people spray that in the evening. And you know, we have tons of bees around here. So I'm not afraid of using neem oil, but I had this in the cabinet, so I'm spraying it with this. The active ingredient is actually sesame oil. So I'm just trying to save some of these. So you can just see the little black down in there. So I'm just trying to give them a good spray before we put the lighter weight insect netting on it.
We got some ladybugs helping us out.
Brussels sprouts are not easy to grow in our area for some reason. I don't know if it just gets too warm too quick, but these are the best looking ones we've ever grown actually under this blanket. All right, so I got that sprayed. The last thing we're gonna do up in this garden is put the row cover on, but I told you we took the heavy weight off and we are gonna replace it with some lighter weight stuff. We have two different things here we're gonna be testing out. This is the lightweight from Grower Solution, and we've been telling you about them for a while. They're actually the original one that we were introduced to that sells this, and that's who we've been getting it through. Super pleased with them. If you decide to purchase this, use VWFF 10 and get 10% off. But there's also a company that sent us some, agfabric.com, and this is actually called an insect netting. This does nothing, as far as I know, as far as keeping frost off the plants, but we're past that threat here in Arkansas. Basically, we just need something super thin to keep bugs off. It's called insect barrier netting. So we're gonna put this on part of the row, as well as the lightweight from Grower Solution, and kind of see which one does better. So as the gardening season goes on, we'll let you know those results. Today we're about to get those on, and we may actually go ahead and get some lighter weight and replace what's on the broccoli and cauliflower, but not today. All right, so we left this upper part of the row uncovered because the plants are very small. So we had enough to do most of the row in the Grower Solution row cover. It's very lightweight. I think it's gonna be perfect. And then down here is the insect netting from agfabric.com. I like the looks of that. I really, really do. And we're gonna see how that goes. It's a small area. It's basically like a sample to show you guys. I think we actually could have cut it lengthwise and got 2 runs of that, but I didn't want to cut it first thing today with Ben not even here to help me. So I'll keep you posted on that, on which one turns out better. What are you doing, miss?
Smelling cilantro.
Cilantro?
Yes.
Oh, I love that smell.
I love cilantro.
All right, so you can see my herb bed has become a jungle. So we're gonna harvest some of these and clean this up a bit.
I don't know what this is. Maybe basil?
Basil. Are you picking on my basil, woman?
It smells real good.
So one thing I'm gonna trim up is this oregano. I'll probably dry some for spices in the house, but this stuff is taking over and it's gonna choke out everything else I have if I don't cut it back some. A good rule of thumb is pretty much you can cut 1/3 of the plant and still be confident that you're not gonna kill it. I don't wanna go more than that, but I definitely wanna trim this that's taken over out into the middle of my bed, I want to cut it back because you can see I've got cilantro up in here, I've got basil, parsley, I've got some thyme, but it's all being taken over by oregano. So we also need to trim some of this lemon balm because it's quickly taken over as well, to give some light to some of the stuff in the middle. Y'all think we can call that good for today?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We uncovered at least what was being taken over. I've got this parsley, I've got basil, thyme.
And we smell wonderful.
I've got some cilantro in here. So I at least wanted to give those some sun. This can get a total makeover another day. We got tons of echinacea flowers there by Emily. And those are good to grow. They're beautiful, as well as wait for a cold fall morning, dig up the roots, tincture them, and you've got an awesome immune booster. And how pretty are these sage flowers right now? This claw from Hoss Tools is awesome for these tight spaces. I'm about to weed some corn and beans and thin it out a little bit. Emily's clipping up tomatoes. We are about to whip this garden into shape, and then we are done for the day. Whew, we are done for the day. The gardens are all in shape. The herb bed is whipped back into shape. We're expecting more rain, lots of rain this weekend. It's crazy. It's just that time of year, but you have to garden and do yard work and all that kind of stuff in between rain showers. I know y'all are probably experiencing some of the same stuff. You just gotta go with the flow, roll with the punches. Thanks for gardening with us today. We appreciate y'all. Thank you for all your kind comments, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Be sure and go check out, if you're interested in weed fabric, Grower Solution, and then also agfabric.com if you're interested in that insect netting. See you later. God bless.